Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sip&Talk. So we actually had a little tap on the shoulder from our marketing expert this week.
Oh, yeah. The marketing people.
Yeah, apparently we need to connect more with all of you. They want us to share some personal backstories. Which, I mean, I'm Joe, by the way.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night wherever you are in the world. Beautiful and moving as always. I'm Sunny. And yes, marketing. Because apparently giving out our scintillating wit and raw intelligence for free just isn't enough value.
I think they might actually just want to know who is talking into their ears for an hour.
Do they really, though? Or do they just want the news? I feel like your personal backstory is going to be something like, I don't know, reading a 500-page draft of the EU AI Act at 3 in the morning.
Hey, that was a very important document.
And you probably found like a misplaced semicolon on page 42 or something. I can literally hear our sip-and-talkers jogging away from us right now. That is a total snooze fest.
Okay, first of all, that is rude. Second of all, that semicolon was actually critical. It literally changed the jurisdiction of the entire law regarding sovereign data privacy.
Oh, wow.
It was a thrill ride. A complete thrill ride.
You are impossible.
But if I recall correctly, while I was up saving the European digital border with my proofreading, you were standing in line at Blue Bottle Coffee in San Francisco.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Blue Bottle.
You're trying to pitch the venture capitalist behind you on, what was it again? A cat mood translator?
Okay, that was a highly forward-thinking initiative. The market was completely ready for interspecies communication.
And how did that go exactly?
Look, we built an app.
Right.
It mostly just meowed back at me, but the vision was there. And honestly, that essentially defines my background. I was raised in that whole Silicon Valley fake it till you make it culture.
You definitely lived it.
I really did. I have seen the hoodie-wearing geniuses. I've seen the pitch decks that promise to absolutely change the world, but really just deliver lukewarm pizza slightly faster. So I am here to translate that jargon for the common person. I've lived through the hype cycles.
And I think that is exactly why this dynamic actually works. Because my background is, let's say, a bit colder, a bit harder.
Just a bit.
Before we started this deep dive, I was deeply entrenched in the DC think tank world. I look at technology through the lens of history and structure and geopolitics.
Which is definitely not the Silicon Valley way.
No, not at all. To me, AI isn't just some cool tool to translate your cat's meow.
Yeah.
It's a fundamental redistribution of global power. It is a geopolitical battlefield.
So essentially, I'm the one at the party getting the gossip from the founders and figuring out what the consumer actually feels. And you are the one in the corner reading the footnotes of the regulatory filing and worrying about national security.
That is a very fair assessment.
And I think that matters for you, the listener, right? Because we have this constant tension. On my side, I'm essentially the bullshit detector for the corporate marketing.
Which is desperately needed right now.
Exactly. Like when a company tries to sell you a smartwatch that claims to revolutionize your entire health ecosystem, but it really just counts your steps, I'm here to ask if this is real or if it's just another tech bubble.
And I'm here to ensure we don't get completely swept away by the emotion of the headlines. I want to ground us in the structural reports. Things like The Economist or Foreign Affairs or those dense CSIS reports on semiconductor.
This stuff that puts me to sleep.
But it's vital. We need to explain the why behind the event. Why does a chip shortage in Taiwan matter to a car buyer in Ohio? That's structure. That's long-term risk.
So I bring the hype check and you bring the reality check.
Precisely.
Okay, Mr. Reality Check. Do you want to spend the next hour discussing your 50-page thesis on global supply chains and their discontents? Or should we actually talk about what happened in the world this week?
Let's stick to what the audience wants. We can save the supply chain thesis for another time.
Thank goodness. Also, before we jump in, if you are new here and wondering how two people with such completely different vibes actually met, or why we are constantly telling you to watch our friend Mickey's show, well, just go back and listen to the archives.
Or drop a comment and maybe we'll tell the story again later.
Yeah, we'll see. But right now, my co-host is looking at his watch, which means he's getting impatient.
I am not impatient. I am efficient. We have a massive stack of news today.
It's a total combo platter of insane information today. We are covering everything from AI realizing itself in the physical world to high-stakes nuclear talks. Let's just get into it.
All right, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
We are starting with the seven magnificents, the big tech giants, and a theme I'm calling AI realization.
Realization as in becoming real right, not like realizing I left the oven on.
Correct. We're seeing AI move out from just being code on a screen to entering physical reality and core infrastructure. And we have to start with Apple. AAPL.
The fruit company, what are they up to?
Reports are coming out that Apple is in very deep negotiations to buy voice rights from old-school Hollywood stars.
Wait, really?
Yeah, we are talking about legendary distinct voices. The specific name being thrown around right now is Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Oh my gosh, you were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Exactly.
Can you imagine asking Siri for the weather and having Alfred from Batman tell you it's raining? That is wild.
It's for the March release of what they're internally calling Complete Siri. But look past the novelty for a second. Why is Apple spending millions to own specific human voices?
Because the robotic voice is dead. We are entirely moving toward humanizing the interface.
Right.
I mean, if I'm going to talk to this thing all day, I want it to sound like a person, not a calculator. It's all about user retention.
It creates a bond.
Exactly. If you form a parasocial relationship with your AI assistant because it sounds like a comforting British grandpa, you are never ever switching to Android.
It's the interface of the future. Voice is the new keyboard. But let's pivot over to Meta. Mark Zuckerberg held an internal meeting recently that leaked to the press.
Ooh, leaks are always the best part.
They are going all in on smart glasses with integrated facial recognition.
Okay, this is the feature they're calling glance and price right.
That's the one. The idea is you walk into a retail store, you look at a product, and the glasses immediately identify it and pull up price comparisons from across the entire web.
Okay, from a pure consumer perspective, like my perspective, this is amazing. I'm standing in a store, I look at a blender, and my glasses whisper in my ear that it's $20 cheaper online. That is the ultimate shopping hack.
It is convenient. But flip the coin here. It's facial recognition. You are walking around with cameras on your face that identify not just products, but people.
Yeah, okay, that is where it gets super creepy. Glance and price for a blender is fine. Glance and stock for a person on the street. Not so much.
This is the exact privacy line that Meta is dancing on right now. We're moving rapidly into a world where anonymity in public spaces might effectively disappear.
That's terrifying.
If everyone is wearing Meta glasses,
Yeah.
everyone is essentially a walking surveillance node.
It's giving very Black Mirror vibes. But honestly, convenience usually wins over privacy, doesn't it?
Historically, yes.
Yeah.
Consumers will trade an awful lot of privacy for a 10% discount. Now let's look at the infrastructure side of this AI realization. NVIDIA. NVDA.
They just had earnings, but the focus is already shifting, isn't it?
Right. Everyone is looking at their data center chips, which are obviously a massive cash cow. But the real story is what they are launching at MWC 2026 in Barcelona.
The Mobile World Congress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
NVIDIA is launching a 6G dedicated AI chip.
6G. I feel like I just barely got 5G working on my phone without it dropping calls.
It's a massive strategic play.
Yeah.
NVIDIA is moving beyond just the data center, the brains of the operation, and moving directly into the telecommunications infrastructure, the pipes.
They want to own the network itself. So they aren't just selling the shovels for the gold rush anymore. They are literally buying the land the gold is buried in.
That is a perfect analogy. If NVIDIA hardware powers the 6G network, they become absolutely indispensable to the entire global communication grid, not just the AI companies.
Okay, so that's the corporate side of things. But there is a much bigger clash happening in the background. We call this next segment Silicon Valley versus the Pentagon.
And this is where my background gets a little twitchy.
Okay.
We are seeing a massive friction point develop between tech ethics and national defense requirements. The headline here revolves around Anthropic.
The makers of Claude.
Right. The Pentagon, the Department of Defense, has issued a hard ultimatum to Anthropic. They have given them a deadline to remove what they call guardrails on their AI models for military use.
And for those listening who don't know, Anthropic was founded specifically on the idea of safety. They are the constitutional AI people, so asking them to just remove the guardrails is like asking a vegan chef to cook a steak.
It completely goes against their core mission. And the CEO, Dario Amodei, has bluntly refused. He is holding the line.
Wow, good for him.
He cited that modifying the AI for unrestricted military use could severely damage democratic values. He specifically cited concerns about mass surveillance and the deployment of autonomous weapons.
Basically, he doesn't want to build Skynet, which is a totally valid fear.
It is a valid fear. But look at the Pentagon's response. They are threatening to label Anthropic a supply chain risk.
Wait, what does that actually mean?
In the world of government contracting, that is the kiss of death. It effectively blacklists you from any federal dollars.
But play the realist here for a second. Why does the DoD need the guardrails completely off?
Because in a kinetic war, you cannot have an AI that hesitates. If you are using AI to analyze battlefield data or to control drone swarms, and the AI refuses a command because it violates a harmlessness protocol, you lose.
Oh, I see.
The DoD's argument is that if our adversaries like China and Russia are building uncensored military AI, we simply cannot fight with one hand tied behind our back.
It's the ultimate ethical dilemma. Do we compromise our democratic values in order to defend them?
And it's not just a U.S. problem either. Look at Japan.
The Intel Tower story.
Yes. The Japan Defense Ministry has just announced a major partnership with a Silicon Valley AI firm. It's currently unnamed, but it's a high-profile player. They're partnering for advanced satellite monitoring.
They're targeting abnormal navigation patterns in the West Pacific, right?
Exactly. This is directly meant to counter what they call Chinese cognitive warfare and gray zone tactics. Japan is realizing they can't just rely on human analysts looking at screens anymore.
The ocean is just too big.
The ocean is too big, and the ship movements are way too complex. They need AI to spot the anomalies and patterns in real time.
So Japan is effectively outsourcing its eyes in the sky to Silicon Valley code.
Which connects right back to the Anthropic story. The world's militaries are integrating AI rapidly. If Silicon Valley refuses to play ball, the military will just go elsewhere, or they will build it themselves likely with far less safety oversight.
That is a genuinely chilling thought. Speaking of militaries in tension, let's zoom out to the global map. Geopolitics.
The stakes are incredibly high right now. Let's start with the U.S. and Iran nuclear talks.
These are happening in Geneva and Oman currently, right?
Correct. It's a back-channel negotiation. The Iranian foreign minister has called this the most serious round of talks yet. And Oman, which acts as the traditional mediator in this region, says they're seeing actual progress.
But there is a major Trump factor in play here.
Trump is back in the White House, and he is actively maintaining what we call strategic ambiguity.
Break that down for us. What does that mean in practice?
It means he's not saying yes, and he's not saying no. He's keeping everyone guessing. Reports suggest he is actively considering specific limited military strikes to increase leverage in these exact negotiations.
So using the direct threat of force to push the diplomacy forward. That is the classic art of the deal style, isn't it?
It is extremely high-risk poker. If you threaten a strike, you have to be willing to actually do it. But if you do it, you might blow up the talks entirely and start a regional war. It's a very delicate dance.
Meanwhile, over in China, something massive is happening within their military leadership.
A severe purge. Xi Jinping has removed 9 high-ranking generals from the National People's Congress.
And this includes 5 full generals, right?
Yes, 5 full generals.
That sounds excessive even for a leadership shakeup.
It is unprecedented in recent history.
Yeah.
This leaves massive operational vacancies in key command posts across the PLA.
So what does this actually mean? Is it about corruption, or is it a loyalty test?
It's likely a mix of both, but the immediate consequence is capability. You cannot decapitate your top military leadership and expect to run efficient, integrated military exercises.
Right, you lose all that institutional knowledge.
Exactly. This signals profound internal instability. It tells us that Xi is perhaps much more worried about internal control than external power projection right now. It severely affects the PLA's ability to coordinate.
Which might honestly be good news for the West, at least temporarily.
Potentially. But never underestimate a wounded tiger. Now let's look at our own backyard, Latin America.
This one literally sounded like a sci-fi movie plot to me.
A new U.S. Congress report just dropped, identifying that China has deployed 11 space facilities across 5 different Latin American countries. We are talking Argentina, Brazil, and others.
Space facilities? Like what? Just telescopes looking at stars?
It's dual-use technology. Yes, they can track stars for scientific purposes, but they can also track satellites. They can provide telemetry and guidance for missiles.
And they are stationed right here in the Western Hemisphere.
That is the primary fear. These facilities could directly support global combat capabilities. If there is a major conflict, China now has eyes in the Southern Hemisphere to guide their assets.
It's basically the Monroe Doctrine getting challenged by satellite dishes.
That's a great way to put it. It fundamentally challenges U.S. strategic dominance in the region.
Okay, let's shift gears. We've talked about war and spies and AI. Let's talk about money, the economic reality.
The economic reality.
Or, as I like to call it, why is the stock market going up while my friends are getting fired?
It is the great disconnection of our time. Let's look at the AI layoff wave.
Starting with Block, SQ. The company formerly known as Square, Jack Dorsey's company.
They are cutting 40% of their staff. That is roughly 4,000 people losing their jobs.
And his rationale was just Brutal. He said they are doing more with less, and he explicitly cited AI tools as the reason they simply don't need those human workers anymore.
And look at IBM. Their stock took a major hit recently because investors are absolutely terrified that AI automation is going to cannibalize their massive consulting business.
If the AI can do the consulting work, who needs to pay for IBM's consultants?
Exactly.
It is the ultimate irony, isn't it? The tech workers built these incredible tools, and now the tools are taking the tech workers' badges away.
It's a profound structural shift in the labor market. But if you look at the hardware side, it's a totally different story. Look at Dell. DEL.
Dell is absolutely crushing it right now.
There is huge demand for AI servers. Their 2027 revenue guidance is beating all street expectations.
And NVIDIA again. Their profits were up 94%. 94%, but the stock actually fell.
Welcome to the scare trade.
The scare trade, what is that?
Investors are getting worried about ROI, return on investment. Companies are spending tens of billions buying these NVIDIA chips, like that multi-billion-dollar deal AMD and Meta just signed.
Right. They are buying everything they can get their hands on.
But the question is, are they making that money back yet? The spending hasn't stopped, but the revenue from the AI products isn't matching the capital expenditure.
Okay. So it's like buying a brand new Ferrari to deliver pizzas. It's a really great car, but are you selling enough pizzas to even pay for the gas?
Exactly. The broader market is finally asking where the profit is from the AI itself, not just the picks and shovels.
And because of that anxiety, we are seeing what they call the Great Rotation.
Smart money is moving. It's flowing out of the overheated U.S. tech sector and moving into Europe, Japan, and emerging markets.
It's just looking for actual value. Speaking of money, moving around the media landscape is getting completely shaken up.
Warner Brothers Discovery, WBD. Their board is currently favoring a massive bid from Paramount and Skydance.
This is a huge deal, and it puts Netflix in a really tight corner. They have like 4 days to decide if they want to put together a counter bid.
We are looking at a massive consolidation phase in the streaming wars. It's going to be fewer but much bigger players dictating the content.
And then there is the tariff refund bonanza.
This is a fascinating legal turn. The Supreme Court just ruled that the Trump-era tariffs, the ones from his first term, were actually illegal.
Illegal? So does the government have to pay all that money back?
Yes. Companies led by FedEx are expecting up to $170 billion in total refunds.
$170 billion. That is a massive stimulus injection directly into corporate balance sheets.
It's an absolute windfall. It could completely change the earnings picture for a lot of logistics and manufacturing companies this year.
Okay, let's bring it home with domestic policy and health.
Politics always makes for strange bedfellows. Trump recently met with New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani.
Now, for those who don't follow New York City local politics, Mamdani is, let's just say he's not exactly a Trump Republican. He is very much on the progressive left.
Yet they met regarding federal funding for specific local housing projects.
It just shows that when it comes to critical urban issues like housing, sometimes ideology takes a back seat to actually getting the check signed.
And briefly on the legal front, the Epstein investigation continues to make waves.
Hillary Clinton gave 6 hours of closed-door testimony.
And on the other side, Democrats are heavily demanding that Trump also be questioned regarding any potential links.
We are just reporting the facts here, folks. It's a complex legal proceeding. It's messy, and it is very much ongoing.
We don't take sides on this. We just watch the court dockets and report what is filed.
But I want to end this segment on something that actually matters to every single human listener right now. Specifically, the women listening.
The women's health crisis.
A new statistic came out this week, and it literally stopped me in my tracks. Heart disease is now the #1 killer of women in the U.S.
And the forward projection is even worse. By 2050, 60% of women are expected to suffer from some form of cardiovascular disease.
That is just staggering. We talk so much on the show about AI and stocks and missile silos, but folks, health is wealth. If you are listening to this right now, take a second. Go check in on your heart health. It is not just a man's disease anymore.
Absolutely. It's a very sobering reminder amidst all the high-level tech talk.
So that was a lot.
It was a very heavy week.
I feel like my brain is completely full.
That is always the goal of the deep dive.
It was a combo platter of insane information, but as always, we have to do the standard disclaimer before we let you go.
Indeed. Please remember we mentioned a lot of specific stocks today. NVIDIA, Block, Dell, Apple. These are data points for our discussion, not financial advice. Do your own research. DYOR.
Please don't go buy a stock just because my co-host happens to like their supply chain structure.
And our mission here at Sip&Talk remains exactly the same as always. We use logic-based deduction from verified facts. We don't discriminate, and we don't hold bias against any country or group. Our ultimate goal is critical thinking.
We want you to think, not just passively listen. If you enjoyed this brain dump, please subscribe to Sip&Talk wherever you get your podcasts.
And
you absolutely have to check out our old friend Mickey's YouTube channel, Mickey to Life. He has these amazing new travel vlogs up right now.
they are actually really well produced.
They are so good. You can literally see the world without leaving your house. Mickey is out there living the dream, so go show him some love.
Hey, Mickey, update a little faster. We are actually watching.
All right, we've unpacked the world. Now go live in it. But think about this before next time, with all this AI integrating into our lives and our militaries. What piece of your own human agency are you willing to trade for convenience? See through the appearance to embrace the reality.
Peace out, Sip and Talker.